A beautiful evening to you and welcome to weekend edition of Sport Extra on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Emmanuel Michael, always glad to be here, especially on weekends like these to take you through the happenings in the world of sports. Top of the menu this evening, Lagos legend and Rivers Hoopers unbeaten run. And of course, Team Nigeria depart for Islamic Solidarity Games. Coming in from the world of football, Allianz Arena to host 2028 UEFA Champions League finals. Details of this and many more will be yours after this short time out. Don't go anywhere. All right, you're welcome back from that short break on this weekend edition of Sport Extra. I'm happy to, of course, have Kingsley join me via the Zoom line this evening. Kingsley, good evening and welcome to a weekend edition of Sport Extra right here on Atlantic Television Network.
Mike, thank you very much. Now, yes, to talk to the
All right, let's start from the home scene, Kingsley, because a drama unfolded under the bright light of Port Harcourt Indoor Sports Hall, where Lagos legend silenced the home crowd and shattered Rivers Hoopers a perfect run thus far in a Navy juggling thriller that had the arena on its feet. The legend displayed a class, composure, and cold-blooded execution to edge past the Kingsmen 80-79. Ending Rivers Hoopers' unbeaten streak on home soil and in a spectacular fashion. That result not only sent a shockwave through the tournament but also extended the legend's flawless record to 5-0. A statement win from the team that fast becoming the toast of Lagos State and the talks of Nigerian basketball. Furthermore, it was another heartbreak for Hoops and Reed, the once most feared basketball club across West Africa's hardwoods, stumbled to a second straight defeat. Their head hung low and their hopes of a Final Four berth faded into uncertainty following a loss against a struggling Kano Pillars side. A shocker that sent ripples through the Nigerian Premier Basketball League Final 8. A Lagos juggernaut searching for redemption after their loss to Lagos legend slipped deeper into despair, falling 50-51 in a scrappy, low-scoring dogfight that left the fans stunned and Kano Pillars punching their air in relief. For Kano, it was a long-awaited breakthrough, their first win of the playoff. For Hoops and Reed, rather, it was another nightmare, leaving them languishing in the 7th place, barely above the cellar-dwelling Kwara Falcons in that very tense game yesterday at the basketball court, talking about Niger Street out there, the city of Port Harcourt. Kingsley, the unbeaten run of Rivers Hoopers, the Kingsmen, as they are popularly called, came to an end yesterday when a very dogged and hard-fighting Lagos legend had to humble them 80 to 79. What do you make of that game yesterday and the intrigues that followed that very match?
Very beautiful result, Mike. I actually saw that coming with the River Super. Especially when you take a look at the Lagos legend, very fantastic in the competition. So, of course, just like you mentioned yesterday, they've not been a very high scoring side. But when you take a look at the fact that they have that stamina to maintain the level of performance they maintain for season, that's not going to be the doubt that so far. Now, that was what they started yesterday against the team who started leaders to pass by so one game will indicate right from the fourth quarter and down to the fourth quarter that after flower. So all the easy affair. And for me, I think although the flight one 80 to 79. I think for me, I was just a flight game. We saw that coming for Rivers Super against Boko City Chiefs, where they struggled much to get it done against Boko City. I knew that against Custom, who was going to cost me that very formidable profile, which very difficult. But that's not the only thing that for me talked about Lagos legends and the River Super. That's the only thing that of course they need, of course, to stand a chance once again against River Super. If River Super can get their job done properly, I think of course they can put everything take and everything it takes of course to get over Lagos legends. So it's a very dangerous one, and for me, River Super should watch it. So when the team goes something like this, it means it might not traveling down to the very end of the competition. So it doesn't have to work. So the time to be testing, we shouldn't just take that lightly for granted. We should come in the back of the mind that and they think that it's possibly a cost or faith is there. We saw that again because of this so that yesterday I just made it. I think we must first develop things because of these and children of these people. Someone has changed the book and this could be their contact in our people. That will go on. We have to be confusion mind to know we are expecting the Nigerian basketball league. Every time we go to pass the confidence. So the movement yesterday we saw that first performance they were completely.
All right, Kingsley, still talking about the performance of the Lagos legend side. With this emphatic win and display from the Lagos legend side, it will not be wrong for anybody to say that they are, they between Hoops and Reed against Kano Pillars. So many expected Hoops and Reed to get a job done against a struggling Kano Pillars side, but then it wasn't to be as they lost back-to-back yet again against a struggling Kano Pillars side. Are you surprised that they were beaten by Kano Pillar?
I'm not really surprised because Kano Pillars will be struggling. I think the team was look for a good time to the competition. I wasn't really surprised that Kano Pillars at least were able to get their own down. The only option for you is to get another team Kano Pillars to come because they just can't give them and they actually got what they wanted to get the win without that complaint. Hoops and Reed will be on the ground to find the competition. I really expected them to compare with the competition for the basketball final from the last but now that practice for them and then Kano will send their struggling but we have to do one extend that victory. I think the way is wasn't surprised that Kano Pillars is going to find their
all right, we'll see how it all pans out, but I can tell you that it's been an exciting, Super 8 out there at 29 Niger Street right here in the city of Port Harcourt, where the final phase of the Nigerian Premier Basketball League is taking place. And of course, Lagos Legend remain the only team, like I've told us earlier, that are yet to be beaten in this competition so far. So the full result of match day 5 saw Kano Pillars narrowly edging past Hoops and Reed 51-50 in a very low scoring side, while Nile University also lost to Boko City Chiefs 77-55. Kwara Falcons also lost to Nigeria Custom 83-78. Lagos Legend, like we told you, beat Rivers Hoopers 80-79. Just 1 point, that separates the two sides. But then that 1 point was good enough to keep the unbeaten record of Lagos Legend thus far in this competition. Still talking basketball on the show, Kingsley, head coach of Nigeria's senior women basketball team, talking about the D Tigress. Rena Wakama has been appointed as the new head coach of Hive BC ahead of the 2026 season of the Unrivaled Basketball League. Wakama, who guided the D Tigress to back-to-back FIBA Women's AfroBasket title in 2023 and 2025, and led the team to a historic quarterfinal finish at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, will now take charge of one of the league's 2 expansion franchises as Unrivaled enters its second season in January 2026. The announcement came as Unrivaled unveiled its complete coaching roster for the upcoming campaign. Wakama joined a talented lineup of 8 head coaches, including Noel Quinn, Andrew Wade, DJ Sackman, and of course Zach O'Brien, not also forgetting Reneka Hugis and Nola Henry in that particular order, who led their team to the final inaugural championship, and Teresa Waterspoon of Vinyl BC, co-founded in 2023 by WNBA star Brenna Stewart and Nafessa Collier. The Unrivaled League debuted in January 2025 with a players' equity model and a fast-paced full-court 3-on-3 format designed to elevate women's basketball right there in United States of America. So another appointment for the D Tigress coach, Kingsley. Do you see her possibly handling this dual role effectively?
I think it's going to be those ones for Rena Wakama. Don't forget, Wakama is ever opportunity of course see how to shovel between the inside as well as the scientific job, and whenever there's a national issue, because and but now she's head coach, of this time. I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know how she's going to find the team talking about the team angle and the team she's talking about. That's my team. They need to be a huge task to have to handle. I don't bring that to distraction. I just say that the people begin to have when they have to vision with national team, a huge. So I don't need to see how we want to go to manage this side. So I think it's going to be a few points. Those things that are concentration, focus, will still be on the two sides of Nigeria. So we don't keep our fingers crossed. Let's hear from the Nigerian basketball association and from her as well, how she wants to go as fast in handling a new position.
All right, we say very big congratulations to Rena Wakama landing yet another juicy appointment as the head coach of one of the second-tier basketball out there in the United States of America. We say very, very big congratulations to our own Rena Wakama. Away from that, Team Nigeria has departed for the 6th Islamic Solidarity Games, which will be held from November 7th to 21st, 2025 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, with a 46-member contingent comprising 35 athletes and 11 officials. The nation's best will compete at the seven sports, including athletics, para-athletics, para-powerlifting, weightlifting, wrestling, boxing, and taekwondo. According to Director General of National Sport Commission, Bukola Olakpade, the games are not just another international outing. They are a strategic stepping stone towards the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. So, Kingsley, this move is toward preparing, our athletes for the 2028, of course, Commonwealth game. Is this the right time to start preparing ahead of, competition that is coming up in 3 years' time?
Well, it should be the right time. It should be the right time. In Glasgow, you are talking about early declaration, declaration. This thing is not that after how many years we have, about 2 or 3 years, that comes to next to the 8. So people start preparing now. I think that's a coach will really have a opportunity of being going there and making sure this time around. Last outing of the team that is very, very important, especially the last one in Paris last year. Next year, for the very first performance that we did. So people will start any preparation. I think that will help us to put up outlets that could go there and be able to put points for this time around. I know that everything will have to go down to but I will start having something shorter. It will say a gold medal will provide for so for me, I think for one thing, I think this is the right time to start preparing from now. It's easily go a long way in making sure that people talent are prepared. They're given the right platform to train and then coaching and coach the modern facilities. I think it gives us that opportunity to be able to get the job done at the people.
All right, still talking about the preparation ahead of the 2028 as the Team Nigeria have departed the shores. The advanced party departed on Friday, setting the tone for what promises to be a thrilling campaign in the Desert Kingdom. The boxing team will be the first to get into the ring with a fight beginning on November 4th, 3 days before the grand opening ceremony. In that very one, this year's game features 21 sport and 2 para sport, bringing together athletes from across the organization of Islamic Cooperation member states. So, Kingsley, what should be the targets of Team Nigeria? Is it to prepare our athletes primarily for 2028, or they should aim beyond that to also go for the killer? Maybe try to see how they can be able to rack up some medals.
I think both at this time, we should look forward to see if we can score at least grab maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 medals in Congo. And then also, to do actually media, to put the best with the combat, then step out and try to afford to catch the good right shot by the right platform for them to have to prepare themselves ahead of the future stage. So for me, I think we should be confused. Yes, it is when we do, it is when we are looking for the different components and win a few medals, then those who are able to win medals in participation, we can swap those ones out and be able to give them the right platform to train and to train ahead of the stage. Because if you think we're just going there just to participate in terms of preparing, I don't think we really get the best. So then we have that mindset of let's go for it, and then our athletes, whatever they can, usually get it. Then we can have the opportunity to select people, of course, who are popular, and then put them to the right platform to see how we can start to train for the things.
All right, let's head to the world of boxing, Kingsley, because Anthony Joshua's next fight will take place in either Ghana or Saudi Arabia or London in February 2026, with a mega showdown against Tyson Fury still on the card for the middle of next year. His promoter has revealed, despite talks of Joshua being set to fight in Nigeria soon, Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn has revealed that Joshua's country of descent is not among options for this next fight. So they talk that Nigeria is possibly going to host Anthony Joshua in his next fight has now been cleared, as his promoter Eddie Hearn has ruled out Nigeria in the mix. Rather, they've chosen Saudi Arabia, Ghana, for the showdown. What do you make of this? Disappointing one for Nigerian boxing followers.
I think for me, it's very good one, Mike. It hasn't this point in time. I think it's a disappointing one. If you look at it, let's take a look at the match. How many Nigerians want to buy tickets from abroad at the show? That's the big thing. How many Nigerians are interested in boxing? How many Nigerians really follow boxing? So take a look at the market. Joshua is not just coming to see Nigerians to say, okay, I'm from Nigeria, let me go to my own country and back just to tell my people that I'm a boxer. No, boxing is money. Boxing is money. So you must be able to rack up the money at the end of the day. So is the market really in Nigeria? I don't really think so. How many times have people said it's very, very expensive boxing competition? I think of course the I think Joshua and his management probably have sat down making so many calculations and see that coming to Nigeria to find we might not possibly wrap up their back of the way. The good is fighting today, not fighting for money, it's fighting for me. Especially at this point of his career, when of course we have the same. So why don't you use the same well to go where it's going to make a lot of money? So if the market when do we have a good market, boxing market in Nigeria? These are things, of course, you tend to look at at this point in time. If I do Nigerians might be disappointed on the Papa is very important to find the market. But how many are interested? How many will do that money to boxing? So these are things that we have to consider before we say let Joshua bring, of course, the start no doubt. Boxing is money. And I think Joshua and the team probably have calculated some of this before saying to Malmö or come to Nigeria to the fight.
All right, meanwhile, the former two-time unified heavyweight ruler has laced up the glove in September 2024 when he came up against the IBF champion, talking about Daniel Dubois. Joshua was caught early and stopped inside the 5th round to end a decent run that had seen him knock out Otto Wallin, Francis Ngannou, and Robert Helenius. Since then, Anthony Joshua has been sidelined after minor surgery and recovering from an elbow injury, but is now looking to return to the ring. Speaking to ILTV, Henry revealed that the huge showdown with Fury is still on the card in the middle of next year after initial warm-up. So they talk about, you know, the Gypsy King returning back to the ring. He has retired about 4 to 5 times. He still comes back to the ring again. Is it a kind of fight that will be lucrative enough that can be able to relaunch Joshua back into the big stage?
In fact, I would say yes, Mike. I would say yes. Joshua fighting Fury will be launching to the big stage, especially when you get to him against Nancy. All right, it's really going to bring back that attention in the one to the fight. Beating Fury will be key for Joshua. Yes, it's a special piece that is very this particular bout is the like to be a big deal. It will be a big deal to bounce back after and much on somebody says that. And I think this will be a very good day to itself. Because that 2 weeks has been going on, we were keeping one by the YouTube phone, finally a full day there. So we had that. But if Joshua and Fury fight is one fight that everybody wants to see. Even though both boxers are not really at that fight, so many persons really want to see this particular bout. Alright, this bout has been, person have been anticipating this bout for a very, very long time. So if it comes, people will keep paid to watch. And as well for Anthony Joshua, if he beats that in school, like I said, it will be a very, very good thing for the long term.
All right, we'll see how that one pans out, because we can tell you that Anthony Joshua is trying to get recovery after that surgery that he had. And of course, after that devastating knockout he suffered in the hands of Daniel Dubois. It hasn't been a very rosy one for Anthony Joshua after building up, you know, after losing his belt, all of his belt. There was a gradual process for him to rebuild back and relaunch back into the big stage. Yes, defeated the likes of Roberto Helenius, Francis Ngannou, and the rest. But then, when he mattered most against the IBF, you know, title holder, Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua actually kissed the canvas of Daniel Dubois. He suffered a very devastating knockout, and of course, his bid to bounce back to the big stage still remaining, shrouded in secrecy, as some have said. He should retire, but then the man is not thinking about retirement, as he's preparing, gearing up for next year, 2026, and he's looking up some option like the Gypsy King as one of the boxer that he might just want to, of course, use as a stepping stone to relaunch back his career back on track. We see how all of that go, but then for Anthony Joshua, we say a downfall of a man is not the end. You can still rebuild back what you've lost. It's just a matter of time. Away from that, Kingsley, let's head straight to the big talking point on the show, because President of the Nigerian Referees Association, Sani Zubair, has explained why no Nigerian match officials was selected for the 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco last Friday. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, announced a list of 94 referees, instructors, and of course assessors shortlisted for the preparatory course ahead of the tournament, with no Nigerian included. According to Zubairu, Nigeria referee failed to meet CAF's selection criteria, which focused on fitness and theoretical knowledge and proficiency with the video assistant referee system. He further explained that referee development is a gradual process and that efforts are ongoing to upgrade Nigerian officials to elite level referee. Kingsley, over the midweek, we discussed about this troubling situation where we've seen Nigerian referee, being sidelined in the scheme of things within CAF when it has to do with the CAF organized competition. The next African Cup of Nations is set to take place in Morocco. I mean, the list of the officials has been unveiled and not a single Nigerian referee. Many were worried and we keep worrying. What must we do, Kingsley, to get it right? Because we have talked about this not the first time, not the second time, not the third time. In fact, in the last 4, 5, 7 years right now, Kingsley, I can tell you that it's been very difficult for Nigeria to produce a CAF referee, not to talk about FIFA referee. What is the problem?
The law, a lot to look at at this point in time, because just like we talked about this yesterday, it's very disappointing, very disappointing. There's a lot, that we see that we have some this situation. First of all, we look at the how could we say the league fully exist. Referee don't come that there they knew where you want to reach, right? The first meeting which are problems with the senior league. Sometimes you can mention 3 to 5 reps in the senior league. But how many can explain really where we are the country? How many for our Nigerian referees can we mention? So what is the exposure? Our referees are not exposed. Right? So they don't really have what to say, to be able to be recognized. At the end of the day, it's not about are they well trained, they don't understand the way of thinking. We talk about legal referees. How many Nigerian referees really understand how to be a video assistant referee? I think so. You don't qualify. How can you be selected? That's the thing. You don't have the qualification. You don't have the skill. You don't have the knowledge. How would you expect them to be selected? Because they don't do anything there. You must be up to date. You have to take to be able to officiate the game. It's not a Nigerian thing where we don't estimate those points in time. So these are things that we are really needed to cook on renting down here in Nigeria. If the Nigerian football situation, they will look at it, okay, let's see what we can do. Our referees that are not going to do, probably not well trained, let's take them to our transport. Even though you think like 10, alright, take them to advanced courses and let them learn all these things. The use of video assistant referee. What are the modern techniques of safety? What are what they need to know? To be able to match up with other referees coming from the other part of the world. Alright, so with all of this, it's not difficult for you to see referees out there putting on the court is very difficult. It's difficult to tap FIFA to even look at the direction Nigeria.
All right, we see how that one will go, but then I think the Nigerian Referees Association should be worried seriously about the non-inclusion of Nigerian referees for the preparatory process of those that is going to officiate at the forthcoming African Cup of Nations set to take place in Morocco next year. January just by here, and soon that competition will get underway. Let's talk about CAF Champions League, because Rivers United, we know their group stage opponent in the CAF Champions League on Monday. CAF announced that the draw ceremony will hold at a popular TV channel studio in Johannesburg, that is in South Africa. 15 clubs have already booked their spot in the money spinning group stage of African biggest club competition, Rivers United secured their spot following a 3-2 aggregate win over Black Bulls of Mozambique. Finidi George side lost the first leg 1-0 and rallied to beat the Mozambicans at 3-1 in the reverse fixture. The Port Harcourt club will be making their maiden appearance in the group stage of the CAF Champions League. All right, we'll see how this one will go. But then at this point, let's take a quick break. When we are back, we'll dive straight to the camp of the Flamingos, because we can tell you that they are in town. And we'll also hear from the coach of the side, their journey so far. Don't go anywhere.
So catch all the updates.
All right, you're welcome back from that short break. Still onto Atlantic Television Network, Sport Extra, weekend edition, where we bring you some of the extra things happening in the world of sport. And I still have Kingsley Emmanuel via the Zoom line, joining us to do justice to some of these interesting topics. Let's talk about the Flamingos, because the Flamingos returned to Abuja early Friday after concluding their FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup campaign in Morocco. Team media officer Renayo Dorcas Koki confirmed the team's arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport at exactly 5:30 a.m., flying in from Casablanca. The Flamingos represented Nigeria with pride and determination, displaying teamwork and resilience throughout the tournament, despite an early elimination in the knockout stage. The Flamingos played 4 matches, losing 4-1 to Canada, 1-0 to France, before defeating Samoa 5-0 to reach the round of 16, where they lost to Italy. All right, like I was saying, I had a chat with the media officer of the Flamingos, talking about Dorcas Koki early hours of today, if she could join us this evening on the show to, of course, so that we can have her take on the experience of the young Flamingos. But then, due to time and they are busy traveling to somewhere, she actually sent some of the videos and the interviews of the coach talking about Bankole Oluwokere, who also spoke about the outing and the experience of the team. Let's, listen to the coach of the side talking about Bankole Oluwokere.
Well, to the glory of God, we give all glory to God Almighty, who took us to that tournament safely and brought us back safely. No injury, even though we have had knocks here and there, God have been able to take charge of that. We just try to do that to return the children back to their parents the way we took them for their parents. Again, having said that, the tournament has come and gone, but the memory remains in each and every one of us. And then the benefit again remains to whoever benefit from the tournament, especially myself, the lesson learned, and then the players, the experience, the exposure, and they have what I've gotten. And again, in such a thing like that, or such a situation like that, you have some ugly faces there. I will say as much possible to see how we have to, amend that. I call it a broken wall, which need to be amended. And because football is with curve rules, so we have made a bend now. We're just trying as much as possible to straighten the road back again. As I said, and we shall make it clear to everyone, under 17, right from the 2020 that I got this job, make it clear that it's a developmental program. At the same time, at the grassroots, we try to, let them know that the winning mentality in working towards that, not just to win without being working for. We must work for it. And if you remember, when we are going to the tournament, said it's tournament, it's a competition. We need to compete with others to see what we have gotten, to know if you are if you are good enough with other counterparts from other countries or from other continents. And I think it's far from that. Yeah, this is Africa. You see what happened to the African countries that went to the World Cup. We didn't have it rosy. Why on Africa? We asked that question. But away from Africa, we are doing well. It's a question. That's football for you. And again, having talked about that, let's go back to Nigeria, the Flamingos as a whole. We had our preparation towards the World Cup. We have a mindset to that World Cup. The mindset, and we have a focus that we want to make Nigeria proud. And at the end of the day, we don't want to come back to Nigeria empty-handed. This is all about it. And to some of the critics outside there, I don't think any reasonable coach, I don't think any right-thinking coach will plan to go to tournament to go and be a loser. So every one of us that went to that tournament went to the mindset to go and win. But at the end of the day, one will surely win. This is what I told the player. We might invite 100 of you. It will reduce to 20 to 50. It will reduce to 25 to 21. And at the start of the game, only 11 will start. And that's the way it's going to get reduced to them team the tournament. Now we are out. Some people are still there. At the end of the day, one will become winner. Again, I want us to be a good loser in Nigeria. I know that I'm preaching anything, but for the guest child that taking part, because I see how some people are castigating this young one. I'm not talking about the women in Nigeria. I'm talking about the technical people that they know what it takes to bring up a player from that level to where they want to be in life. I heard some people saying that they are not experienced. Which experience do you want under 17 player to get? Where must it have gotten it from the womb? Or from where? So that just this is a learning period. And this is where everybody to support them to grow, to tell them they have future ahead of them. And that's what I'm doing. The federation gave me the mandate to make sure that I produce players that can be useful to Nigeria in all categories, from under 20 down to the Super Falcon. And I don't think I fell short of that. If we walk back, let's go back to memory lane from my 20